thought this for a while, but I've never said it on here, so here we go. I don't think that racists should be allowed to use tanning salons. If you don't like melanin, then you don't get any! No melanin for you!
What the you go away for a while, you hope people will get their shit together, you think you get back on social media and everything is okay, but you know what? I'll do this shit myself. Racism is not dead, but it is on life support, kept alive by politicians, race hustlers, and people who get a sense of superiority by denouncing others as racist. Thomas Sowell. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Culture Shock. I have been gone for a while because I have had to get my head on straight. I have been working far too much and I haven't really had time to enjoy and appreciate the little things. So I've been spending time with my wife, with my family, and just doing a lot more bouncing around and traveling and doing the things that I like to do. Of course, that included not doing any social media. So if you ever have a chance to just sit back and not be on social media for 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days, I highly recommend it because with everything that's going on, and I've always said this on every episode of my show, you guys know and you understand that every week, and it's starting to turn into every day now, there is something going on in the world, and it's just social media these days is just nothing but a place where people are either angry or upset or both. All right. So if you get a chance, do that. Just put your phone away, put it in another room, go for a walk, go outside, go to some place to where you are not going to be tempted to get on social media. Because even when I was taking my break and just enjoying what I like to do, it was kind of hard because you pick up your phone and check the weather. And then next thing you know, you're clicking on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram and boom, you're sucked right back in. So if you have an opportunity to do that, which I hope you guys do, please do that. But going back to the topic at hand, I've returned to social media much to my distress. Okay. I don't like being on there as much as I used to before. And I've learned to not have to comment on every single thing that comes across your newsfeed. And it's actually been quite freeing not being able to do that or not having the urge to comment on everything that just so you know what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to go into detail, but I recently came back maybe on Monday. And of course, it's like walking into a burning building. Everything's on fire. People running around with their heads cut off, not knowing what's going on. And it's just so, I don't even know where to begin. So before I go into all this, let me just do my whole spiel. Welcome to Culture Shock. I am Will at Heroic Studios. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Don't hit the dislike button unless you really, truly, honestly dislike it. But of course, I welcome all new subscribers. I hope you guys do like my content. There's a lot that I'm trying to put together. Slowly but surely, I'm going to get there. All right. Now, I want to make this announcement real clear that I'm starting to put together a Friday night live stream with a few people as a discussion panel on various topics, more likely going down with what's going on within the week and stuff and giving our opinions and having a civil discussion. People can agree, disagree. They can come on the show. It doesn't matter. So if you're interested in actually coming on the show and doing a live stream for about an hour, let me know. We can set that up. It's very simple. It's not a really big deal. Of course, my manga, Ultima, The Legend Untold, we are swinging into chapter 12 this week. It has been so much fun, and you guys can catch all that action on Webtoons or on my website, heroicstudiosmedia.com, and it's free to read. Check that out. Check it out. There's a lot more to come. All right, now, with everything that's going on, I don't want to get a little depressing, but this episode might get a little depressing, and I apologize ahead of time for that. But there have been at least 2 shootings in the last couple weeks. I've been gone. I get on Twitter. I see these things. I hear it. I don't engage. I get off and I do other things. But I'm aware of what's happening. There was 2 shootings. Now, the opening quote that I picked up from Thomas Sowell, it is very true. Racism is alive, but it's on life support. But the only people keeping it alive are the politicians who keep on saying that white supremacy is the problem with our country and therefore we need to get rid of it. But is it really though? Is it really? Now let's go back 2 weeks ago. There was a shooting in Boulder, Colorado. A guy walked into a massage parlor, shot it up, and people immediately blamed that on white supremacy. Now, was it really white supremacy? No, based on the evidence, there's nothing to even suggest that. And now we had all these corporations going off and saying, stop Asian hate, Asian hate. We need to stop Asian hate, all because the shooter was white. Now, I think all hate of all kinds needs to be shut down. That shouldn't even be up for discussion. Hate, no matter what it is, needs to be shut down. It could be white supremacy. It could be just black on black hate, Mexican on black. It doesn't matter. Hate is hate. It needs to be shut down. But what you will see from the media is as long as the perpetrator is white and the victim is anybody who fits this minority characteristic group that the left has put together, then they can go ahead and say, oh, that's white supremacy right there. We need to bottle that. But if it's anything else, if it's one of those groups of minorities attacking anybody else, minority or minority, doesn't matter. You're never going to hear about it from the media. And that brings us to today's topic. Yesterday, there was an incident in Washington, D.C. from about a man named Muhammad Anwar. That's Anwar. I'm sorry, I mispronounced that. I apologize. I'm not going to show the video here because the family have said that they don't want that video circulating around social media. So if you want to see it, I'm sure you can find it on Facebook and Twitter. It is very graphic. It is very graphic. So please, viewer discretion is advised. But anyways, there was two teenage girls, one 13 and one 15. And before I go further, if there's a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old trying to steal a car from anybody, you need to look at where these children are living. You need to look at the parents. You need to look at the home life situation. Nobody who's 13 and 15 should be stealing a car, let alone murdering somebody, which is what happened to Muhammad Anwar. I hope I pronounced his name right. He was an Uber Eats driver, and these two black 13-year-old, 15-year-old girls tried to steal his car. And as he tried to fight back, they drove off with his car, flipped it at the end of the block, and ended up killing this man. Now, you're not going to hear the story. You're not going to hear it on the national media. You're not going to hear it anywhere else except from local news outlets. Why is that? Why is it 2 weeks from now, you're never going to remember this man's name, but everyone in America knows who George Floyd is? A very good question. Very good question. So this article comes from, again, you're not going to find it on any type of CNN or any place like that. You're going to not find it there. You're going to see it on local news channels. All right. So here's the article. And of course, all my articles are in the description. If you want to go read it for yourself, please go ahead and do so. Teen girls charged with carjacking and murder in death of Uber Eats driver in Washington, D.C. Now, point out that Washington, D.C., along with another one of these examples that I'm going to get to later on in the show, happened in Washington, D.C. or in New York, which are, again, not a coincidence, both Democrat-ran cities. Crime rate are up in those cities, so if you don't, I wouldn't even go there, to be honest. Two teenage girls in the death of an Uber Eats driver in Washington, D.C. are due back in court Wednesday. The girls, ages 13 and 15, have been charged with felony murder and armed carjacking following the death of 66-year-old Muhammad Anwar. Again, I'm so glad these girls were caught, and I'm so glad that they're being held responsible for this, because this is something that didn't even need to happen, but it did. Anwar of Springfield, Virginia, died last week after teens allegedly tased him while attempting to carjack him near the Navy Yard Metro Station. Police said the incident caused the rollover crash that killed Anwar. Now, it's not alleged. Most of the stuff is caught on tape. People were videotaping this as it happened, and girls tried to get away. Now, the thing that kind of got people upset is that they just killed this man. He's lying on the street. He's dead. But one of the girls is trying to find her phone. And it's like, you just killed a man. Your phone is more important right now? Like, what's going through your head at this moment? None of this makes any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to everybody who's watching it. And it shouldn't make sense to you watching this video. These girls were worried about their phones instead of worrying about the man that they just murdered. I don't even know where society is going at this point. Graphic video of the attack was shared in court last Wednesday, CBS Washington, D.C. affiliate with WUSA reports. In the video, one of the girls heard screaming, "He has my phone," as the driver yells, "They're trying to take my car." One girl admitted to going to Navy Yard Station with the intent to steal a car, and she blamed the other girl for jamming the car in gear, swinging the steering wheel, and crushing Anwar to death. A Metropolitan Police Department detective said, according to WUSA. Police and the DC Superior Court did not provide any further details about the girls, including their names, because they are juveniles. The video of the attack was shared on Twitter, where it quickly went viral. Now, I guarantee you, because they're juveniles, are you shitting me right now? Do you guys remember the Covington Catholic kids? They released their names on the spot. What about the guy from Kenosha, the little boy, I won't say little boy, 17-year-old kid from Kenosha, Wisconsin? They released his name. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but you guys know what I'm talking about. If these were white people, they would have released the names right off the bat. But because they're black, they're going to keep their names under wraps because Black Lives Matter or some nonsense like that. This is the media. This is the media that we're talking about here. You're not going to remember the story a week from today. You're not going to remember the story a week from Tuesday. Okay? What about Jessica Whitaker, a woman who was stabbed last year during the Black Lives riots up in Indianapolis for saying all lives matter? Yeah, I still remember that. And I'm still following that story for when they catch those people. And I'll give you an update once I know. There's a lot of this stuff going on. The media is not going to report on it. And it's up to us to help catch these people. Now we're going into the whole bulk of these things because it is only a sense of urgency is when the perpetrator is white and the victim is of some type of ethnic background, whether they're Native American, if they're black, if they're Asian, anything like that. So a while ago, during that shooting that I mentioned before in Boulder, Colorado, where this white man went into this massage parlor and started shooting up the place, he killed, I think, about 4 Asian women along with 4 other people in there, and they tried to blame it on white supremacy when it was more of a mental issue for this guy. But the whole hashtag Stop Asian Hate was trending on Twitter. And you know what? That doesn't make any sense because this is only a thing, again, when a white perpetrator is involved. But what about when black people attack Asian people? I've been back on social media for 3 days and I have seen a grand total of about 2 to 3 videos. I want to say 2 videos. Let's say 2 videos for the sake of time here. Of 2 videos of black people attacking Asian people. Here's the videos I'm about to show you are extremely graphic, so please, viewer discretion is advised, but please be aware and be understanding of what's happening here. The media is not going to tell you this. They're not going to report on this, but here's the first video from New York, a black man beating up on an Asian subway rider. Don't know what escalated it, but here it is. And you can see him just whirling on this guy. And no one is helping this dude. No one is helping this Asian guy. And you want to say stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate, but it's only stop Asian hate when it's a white man attacking an Asian person. But if it's a black man attacking or anybody else, you're not going to do anything. You're going to ignore it. You're going to make this hashtag trend, okay? This Asian guy was left unconscious on the subway. I don't even know if he was brutally or fatally injured or anything like that. There's been no update on this. I don't even know if the police are looking for him. The next one comes from Washington, maybe New York. I think it was Hell's Kitchen, of another incident like this where a Filipino woman, she was about 66, 65 years old, walking down the street, and this guy, you can see it in the video, comes up, kicks her, and starts stomping her on the pavement for no reason. And you see the security guards right there. They're seeing everything happen, and they don't even go out to help her. They just close the door and pretend like nothing happened. Again, stop Asian hate. Stop Asian hate. Are you kidding me right now? These are just 2 of many instances that I have seen. And I've only been back on social media for 3 days, 3 whole days. And this is what I've come across. Okay. Now, if you really want to see the statistics of everything that's going down, what you're seeing on your screen right now is a percent of violent incidents by victim and offender, race or ethnicity in 2018. This is from the Bureau of Justice Statistics. And as you can see, we have the victim, race and ethnicity, and then the perpetrators from various different races. So we have white, black, Hispanic, Asian. Number of violent incidents, 3,581,360 for white people, 563,000 for black people, 734,000 for Hispanics, and 182,000 for Asians. Now, if we go to Asians and we go to where it says black, that is row 4 over column 2 or column 4, 27% of the Asian hate crimes, or just say violent incidents, come from the black community, 27.5. Next up will be, of course, white people, 24.1, Hispanic, 7.0, and then Asian on Asian is actually 24.1. So Asian on Asian violent crimes and white on Asian violent crimes are equal. But the one that takes the cake in this instance is, of course, black on Asian crime, which is at 27.5%. Now, if you go back and you say, hey, how many Asian people are assaulting black people? Well, let's take a look. Black people, and you go down to the Asian, less than 0.1%. Okay. How many black people are assaulting white? 10.6%. But let's look at this going even further. What's the percentage of black on black violent crimes to each other? 70.3%. So if you really want to get into the problem here, the problem that has gone on with America right now is not white supremacy. It is a lie perpetuated by the media to make you feel as though America is actually systemically racist, and this is how politicians get into power. Hell, this is how Joe Biden, Kamala Harris got into power, by saying that they're going to support Black Lives Matter, that they're going to give reparations to black people, they're going to make all this equity a thing between the races. And so far, they haven't done anything, thank God. But, we're only 3 months into this presidency. But the underlying factor here, and I hate to say it, but someone has to bring light to the situation, and someone has to be the voice of reason here, that the problem with America is not white supremacy, it's not racist white people running around, it is African Americans, it is black people committing these crimes, and there is no accountability for these people. Now, I can hear in the comments already, well, the reason why people, African Americans and black people commit these crimes is because of white supremacy. You're going to have to prove to me with sufficient evidence that that is the case, otherwise I don't believe it. I don't believe that other people are making other people do something as heinous as beating up people on the subway and stomping Asian women out on the streets. I'm sorry. You're going to have to provide some type of evidence. You're going to have to prove it in order for that to make sense in my head, because it does not make a lick of sense at all. Okay? All right. As long as we're clear. So what's the solution here? Okay. The solution is, and I've been saying this for months now, ever since I got involved in this whole culture war thing, in years actually, that you need to bring fathers back into the home. You need to make it to where being a single mother, because the single mother rate in African American communities are at about 70%. And that is due to government incentives on being a single mom in these instances where you get money and welfare and all that stuff from the government. These people, everybody, and it's not just black people, it's everybody who is dependent on the system. They need to come out and learn a skill. They need to learn a trade. They need to get a job. They need to educate themselves, and they need to stop having kids out of wedlock, especially when the father's not around. There's a reason why during Jim Crow, black families were more tight knit than they are today. That is a wild observation when you think about it. In the most racist time in American history, there were black fathers in the house. Now you come out of there 50, 60, 70 years later, where America is not as racist according to these statistics, or at least what the media wants you to believe, and there are no black fathers in the house. Why is that? Okay. So what do you think? What do you think is the underlying cause in America's society today? Do you think that there are actually more hate crimes against Asian people from white people or from black people, according to statistics? Now, I want to hear your honest answer, because we're going to open up the floor to discussion in the comments. We're going to have an open debate. We're going to have open discussions. If you don't agree, that's fine. Just say agree to disagree, move on with your life. There's no need to sit there and wait for the person to reply, because I need to prove this person wrong and one up them in so many ways. No, okay? I want to know what you guys think. Is this a problem? I think it's a problem, and I think it's a problem that needs to be dealt with, but no one up in Washington, no one in power is going to point it out, because they want the narrative that black people are being hunted by police, by white people. Black people can go outside without being hunted by other white people. That's not the case, okay? Now, I'm a firm believer in individualism. I'm a firm believer that it doesn't matter your race, your ethnicity, anything like that. If you're a shitty person and you did a shitty thing, you need to be held accountable. There is no scale for people who decide that they want to do something, think they're going to get away with it, or they're going to get let off easily because of their race. No, if you kill a man by trying to steal his car, whether you're black, white, Asian, Puerto Rican, Martian, doesn't matter. You should pay the price for that and you should be held accountable. And that's just my personal philosophy. Race should not play a significant role in anything when it comes to bringing justice to people who have been wronged in crimes. Okay? That's all I got for you guys for today. I do have more videos coming for you guys. And again, Friday nights is going to be a live stream night. So I will hope to see you guys all there. If you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me at Will@Heroic Studios. And that's my same name on Instagram too. I will bring you guys more details on that as the day comes closer. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. And I hope you guys do tune in for that. All right. So again, I will see you guys next time on another episode of Culture Shock. And please, guys, take a break from social media. It's not the end all be all. Put your phone down. Go read an actual book, not a book on your phone. I mean, an actual cover to cover book, and enjoy yourself. Play a video game. Don't even have to connect to the internet to play. Just play something else. Go outside, play basketball. Just get off social media because there is nothing of worth or value or anything good on social media. All right. I will see you guys next time, and take care of yourself, folks.